What's poppin'? Welcome back to Midwest Talks Basketball. It's Monday. It's Monday, and it's starting off like one. It's starting off like one. That's all I'm saying. But we here. Let's get through the week day by day. You know what I'm saying? So we got some things going on. I got a Steam key for a giveaway for a game called Mix It on obviously Steam. So stay tuned for that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play it next. I'm gonna have a long play up of it next week, right? And then I'm gonna have the details on how to, enter the giveaway. All right. So we're gonna do it like that. New episode of FNS Podcast is up. It's a nice long one, about 5 hours. So make sure you check that out however you want to do it. Listen to it in one sitting. Listen to it throughout the week, however you want to do it. You know what I mean? Check it out. You know what I mean? So we here, man. Topic at hand. Trouble in Memphis, man. Which, for me, I'm not shocked. If you've been paying attention, if you follow the NBA or whatever, there was rumblings on Instagram about or Instagram, TikTok, all that. But you got to kind of take that, with a grain of salt when you see them things, because you don't know what's true and what's false when you're reading it, who reporting it, what. So you got to be careful when you look at those things. But it was things floating around that they wanted to move off of Ja Morant, right? I'm thinking, why? I mean, you could say, issues with the guns and all that, but he hasn't really been in trouble last couple of years. I mean, at one point, you know what I'm saying, is it over with? You know what I mean? Because, the thing is with Ja, right, or anybody who made mistakes, they'll hold it against you, and they'll keep holding it against you. And the thing is, you could be on a good streak. The minute you mess up, they revert back to that. You know what I mean? Even when it has nothing to do with that. Because I've seen people saying stuff about, well, the guns, because he said, go ask the coaching staff. Why is guns being brought up when he said, go ask the coaching staff about a dispute he had in the locker room? You see what I'm saying? A little nonsense like that, man. I don't agree with what he was doing, but I mean, if he hasn't done it, I've always said this. If I'm in the office, I can't control what you do. Just don't let it come to my desk. You know what I mean? So if that comes to my desk, you deal with it accordingly. But if he hasn't done that in the past couple of years, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, all right. But anyway, so they had, from what I understand, they had a little situation in the locker room, which all teams have that. I don't even think that's a big deal, man. I don't think having a disagreement with your coach, disagreement with teammates is a big deal. That happens, man. You got 12 plus different personalities in the locker room, okay? You had a bad game, you upset. The coach is 100% going to be upset. Your teammates could possibly be upset with you as well off of that too, you know what I mean? So things is going to be said, you know what I mean? Explicit things is going to be said, you know what I mean? Everyone is upset in the moment, you know what I'm saying, because of the loss, you know what I mean? So that happens. If you ever been in a locker room, it's nothing but, you know what I'm saying, mad aggression in the locker. I mean, it's what it is. So, and then you got cameras dead in your, which it comes with the territory. I'm not saying this is a problem, but after an argument with the coach, you got a camera in your face. How you think he gonna respond? Honestly, you know what I'm saying? On the humane tip, you know what I mean? If you just got into it with your coach, he probably told you some things about yourself like, hey, you was effing up all night. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is. And then here you come. So what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you really going to respond to that? You going to probably respond similar to that. You know what I mean? And actually, I honestly think he responded pretty well. He didn't say nothing crazy. He just stopped himself from saying anything crazy. And he got suspended because he says detrimental to the team. So whenever something like that happens, that means there's problems, because you suspend them for saying that. I don't agree with suspending him a game for saying that. I don't agree with that. Not even a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All he did, he pulled the Marshawn Lynch. That's it. You know what I mean? But it's like, hey, where's the coaching staff? I mean, I wouldn't suspend him for that. You know what I mean? And this is the thing when it comes to coaches and players. Though you are the coach, you're not always right all the time. It's ridiculous sometimes how this go. Like the coach could be on some garbage, but just because you the coach, you think you right. You know what I'm saying? You know, like just like players get traded, coaches get fired. You're not always right. I'm not saying what he said was wrong or right. I'm just saying that. You know what I mean? So, and there could be an issue between them two. Period. You know, those reports didn't come out of thin air. You know, so should Memphis trade Ja Morant? I mean, at this point, they in limbo. I don't got their record put up on me right now, so I think it's 2-2. I don't got it put up on me right now. I'm driving, so I can't really even go into the record bag. But either way it goes, they in limbo. They're gonna be. It's a situation to where you got Ja. The rest of the team is, you know, it's not. It's one of the days where it's like, do you want to rebuild? Because I feel like, you know, Ja Morant, you know, he's cold. He's just, you know, he got a cloud over him, but outside of that, he's nice, man. Like, he's nice. He affects winning and all that stuff. When Ja is on, you know, we've seen the results when Ja is getting busy. So we're not going to pretend like Ja Morant isn't one of them ones. He is. So that's a tough thing. Like, because if you trade him, you commit to the rebuild. That's what you're doing. You trade Ja Morant, you commit to the rebuild. I seen stuff talking about rebuilding around Jared Jackson. Man, please. You serious? Like, no, that's not. Big salute to him and all, but no. No, that's not a person you rebuild with, man. Like, that's not a rebuild guy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, we gonna rebuild around Jared Jackson. Get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? That's how bad the state of the NBA is to rebuild around Jared Jackson? Nah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? That doesn't even make sense. So to trade Ja, you are fully committing to the rebuild. That's what you're doing. And are you ready to do that? And then thing is, I don't see players wanting to go to Memphis like that on some free agency type stuff. Or if a player get traded to Memphis, re-signing there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that being the case. So Now there was reports saying teams are monitoring the situation. So though, you know, people focus on the negative, teams want Ja still. And that's probably almost every team, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Because Ja is explosive. You know, I think he can develop that jump shot more because he needs to be able to shoot better because he's nothing but what a Derrick Rose is or Russell Westbrook. He's from that tree. That's his style. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is with those players, they did not develop a jump shot like that. You know what I mean? So he needs to develop a jump shot, needs to be able to run them ones like that. You know what I mean? He needs to develop that. He got the game. He got the athleticism and all that stuff, but he needs to, you know, develop a consistent jump shot, man. Seriously. But I'm seeing people wanting Ja Morant to go to Houston. If you look at the comments, a lot of people saying Houston. It's like, well, what would Houston give up though for him? That's the question. You know what I'm saying? Because it starts with a man. It starts with a man time. Like there's no if ands or buts. I'm gonna say Thompson twin because I be getting the men and the sword mixed up. It starts with the Thompson twin, 100%. It starts with him. Probably Sengun. You probably got to get rid of Sengun and Thompson for him. For starters, I'm being honest. I mean, that's what's going. So you take them two away, add in Ja Durant. I mean, you kind of. Yeah, I don't think the trade is gonna be focused around them two, man. Like, I don't see a world where it's not Sengun and the Thompson twin. It has to be focused around them. But they need a point guard bad too. They need a point guard bad. But I mean, the Rockets. I'm not saying they wouldn't be nice, but you're gonna have to give kind of a lot to get Ja. Ja's value is high still. You're not about to just get Ja for draft picks. So you're gonna have to cut into that main core, you know what I mean, to get Ja Morant. There's no ifs, ands, buts, and maybes about that. You're gonna have to cut into that main core, you know what I mean? And it's not gonna be a one-player swap. you're going to have to give multiple. You're going to have to give up multiple guys for Ja Morant. So that's the situation that we run into, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to trading Ja Morant. Because you talk to Rockets, I hear you, I understand that, but they got to give up probably Thompson and Sengun, and that kind of messes them up there. Because Durant, I don't see Durant staying healthy the whole year. I just don't see Durant staying healthy the entire year. Just, you know what I mean? I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Trying to think other teams where Ja can go to. I mean, Ja's style really can fit. He could be a plug and play. Well, it depends. I can't say that because if you have a certain offense that you run, you know, Ja got to be able to run them ones. But on a bad team, Ja could go in and turn a bad team around, like actually instantly, due to his style of play. You know what I'm saying? Because when he is playing well, Memphis, for the most part, do win. You know what I'm saying? It's on his back, but they do win for the most part. So he can go to a bad team and actually, you know what I mean, get some wins, get them some wins and all that stuff, man. Like, Brooklyn don't got enough. Like, Ja could go there and that could be his squad, and I can see people wanting to go to Brooklyn, but the thing is, that's going to take a couple, like, yeah, they're not going to, Ja going to go there and turn up. If they was, let's say if they was able to swing some sort of a trade and he go to Brooklyn, because that is open for the taking for any star to go there, and that's my team, right? You know what I mean? So if he goes to Brooklyn, that's his squad, hands down. And players that's going to go there is going to want to play with Ja Morant. So that'll be a destination, but I don't think there's anybody like on Brooklyn that you want to get for Ja Morant. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I look at Brooklyn as a landing spot for any star to go there and do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like an open slate for any star to go there and show what you can do, because that team is not good, man. So you go there and show if you can actually lead a team, you know what I mean, and take them out of a bad situation and make them respectable, you know what I mean, and then draw players over there. But Ja, I think he can do that in Brooklyn, but I just don't think they're able to do that unless even if it's a 3-team trade, I just don't think Brooklyn got the assets for it. I love him in Detroit, but I don't want to give up Cade, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cade, we have to give up Cade, and I don't want to do that. So, I'd love to have Ja in Detroit. I'd love to have Ja in Detroit. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'd love to have Ja in Detroit. 100%. 100%. We will treat Ja with 100% respect here. You know what I'm saying? He would get this Ja Morant to Detroit. He'll get the love from the fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you might even have you might have our mascot with the dreads on. You know what I mean? Like how they was doing, you know what I mean, with Ben Wallace. So I mean, we'd love to have Ja here, but you know, I'm not giving up no Cade, bro. That's not gonna happen. Now, we can talk about Ivy and Thompson and all that, but I know that's not enough. I'm not giving up Cade. The conversation starts with Cade, 100%. That's just what it is. I know that, you know what I mean? I'm not slow. I know that's where the conversation starts. Cade Cunningham, you know what I mean? So, New York, hey. Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns. New York would love to have Ja. New York, but then again, they got, you know, if they feeling Jared Jackson like that, they're not gonna want Karl Anthony Towns. New York could be a nice destination for Ja Morant. Yeah, that'd be a nice destination for Ja right there. Yeah, that'd be nice. You know what I mean? Miami, maybe. I mean, I don't think they got the assets either. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about it. Like, what you going? Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. That's where the conversation starts at. There. That's not enough for a Ja. That's not enough. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you gotta, at the end of the day, the moral of the story is you got to give up a lot for Ja Morant. So, you know, it's not gonna be, unless, like I said, I've seen things happen. So unless they really want to come up off of them that bad and they willing to take certain things, like for instance, a bunch of first round draft picks, and then, you know, I don't see that happening. But if they want to come up off them bad enough, you know what I mean, if they feel like just getting them up out of here betters the situation, they probably will take him at some sort of a. I don't think a bunch of first round draft picks is a discount, but then again, you could probably look at it that way. If you're not wanting to build your team through the draft, you could probably look at it that way. Like, okay, we don't build through the draft. No way, here, you take this, because the draft ain't nothing but a gamble anyway. At least I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got some teams that have built it through trades, free agency, you know what I mean, and don't really deal with the draft like that. You know, you got some teams that operate strictly off the draft. You know what I mean? So there's no wrong way to do that. You know, the draft is a gamble. It is a gamble because it's always like hitting the reset button every single draft almost. You know what I mean? So, because you got to let this person grow in the game, learn the game, all this stuff. You know what I mean? Versus on if you building it through trades and free agents, you already know what you're dealing with. You already seen what it was with this person. You know they can, you know, whatever. You know, so you kind of get instant success usually with a trade or something like that. You know, or through free agency because they already know the game. The NBA game, you know what I mean? A rookie doesn't know the NBA game, so you got to let that, and that may or may not pan out. Just like a trade may or may not pan out, but you got more of a higher success rate doing it through trades and free agency. You know what I mean? So I get it. Like, there's no wrong way of doing it. So, but if you're a team that don't even move like that through the draft, I can see you wanting to give up all your first round picks for Ja Morant. I can see that. So, I mean, it's not impossible, but it just depends how bad Memphis want to come off of Ja Morant. That's really what it is. How bad is the relationship between Memphis and Ja Morant for like what they willing to take, you know what I mean, or what they willing to swing for, you know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. About to pull in the work. We gonna see what's up with this Ja Morant situation, man. We gonna see what's up, man. But I do think he's gonna get traded. I do think he might want to get traded. He's not gonna say it. I don't think he's gonna say it, but he probably wants to be traded. I'm gonna guess he wants to. I'm guessing that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the content. Really appreciate it from everybody. Peace.